Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are at the St. Louis Forest School Virtual College Fair powered by StriveScan. My name is Sibel Racim. I'll be your facilitator for today's session. I'm super excited to be here. I hope you are too. We have some amazing institutions here to tell us a little bit about themselves. But just remember, this is an appetizer, right? So we have about 45 minutes on the clock, and these institutions only have a few minutes to share a little bit about themselves. So just remember that you're going to want to take some maybe notes or get some contact information and links to be able to do a deeper dive into these institutions. Now, also throughout the session, you may have questions, and we absolutely encourage those questions. You're going to be asking questions by typing them in the Q&A button. And the Q&A button is in your Zoom toolbar. Make sure to type in your questions to the presenters at any time. I stress at any time in that Q&A. The reason being is because we only have 45 minutes and I don't want to cut any of questions out at the very end. So please do not wait until the very end to ask those questions. Also, please put the institution's name within the question. That'll help us figure out what question goes to what institution. Also, remember the panelists cannot see or hear you, so you're muted and your video is turned off. Again, that makes it very, very important for using that Q&A in order to be able to ask those questions. Also, fun facts, you may be getting some notifications in the chat, and the reason for that is because our panelists and presenters could be putting some contact information or some links they want you to check out within that chat. So please make sure to check out those chat notifications. Disregard the signing up for more sessions. This is our last session for today's virtual college fair. Also, a recording will be available. So if you missed out on the fun, maybe a friend wants to check out these schools, maybe mom missed out on today's session, or maybe you just want to relive the fun with us, all sessions are being recorded and will be available within the next few business days at strivescan.com/St. Louis Forest School. With that said, you all, I'd love to get started. Our first institution up for today's session is Santa Clara University.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This is so awesome. This is definitely the most energetic StriveScan presentation I've been to. So thank you for that, Sibel. My name is Maura Bonini. I am one of the admissions counselors at Santa Clara University. We are the Jesuit University of the Silicon Valley. So I'm super excited to chat with you today. I'm really going to focus in on three things that we really feel set Santa Clara apart, what makes us unique. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the application process and finding. But please feel free to put any questions you have in the chat. Like I mentioned, I work in the admission office, but I'm also an alumna. So while I may be a little biased, I do have a lot of really great perspectives that I can share about Santa Clara. All right. So the first thing that we really like to talk to folks about when we're talking Santa Clara is our location, right? We are located in the Silicon Valley. We're about south of San Francisco. The Caltrain is directly across the street from the university. So you can take that straight up if you want to go to a Giants game or anything like that. San Jose is really close by. There is a direct flight from San Jose to St. Louis. I have taken it. It gets you there right when you need to get there. It's absolutely perfect. And there's a free shuttle to and from the airport. But I really want to mainly focus in on the opportunities for professional development in the Silicon Valley, right? There are so many incredible companies. You can see that our top three employers are Cisco, Google, and Apple, and they're all less than 8 miles from campus. And these are looking for students of all majors to partake in internships or even full-time jobs after graduation. As you can see, about 86% of our students are employed full-time in graduate school or in a service program within 6 months. And it's students, again, of all majors. I know when I was in high school, when I heard the word internship, my brain immediately went to computer engineering, and our computer engineering students are, of course, getting really awesome opportunities at some of these really great companies. But one of my best friends from Santa Clara was a political science. Now she works on the philanthropy team at Google. I had a friend doing Apple Maps who was an environmental studies major. So really, the Silicon Valley is a really incredible place to be for lots of different opportunities and access to really top-notch companies and business opportunities. The next thing I want to talk about is our Jesuit experience and being a Jesuit school, as well as our just kind of what going to Santa Clara is like, talking a little bit about our size, and just general facts about the educational experience. So we are a Jesuit Catholic institution. If you're familiar with the Jesuits, that's great. If you're not, I want you to take a big deep breath right now. As you can see, only about 50% of our students identify under that Christianity umbrella. The other 50% of our students self-identify as everything else under the sun. And the way that I really like to describe the faith community at Santa Clara is, if you have a desire to pursue your faith in college, there's a ton of different ways you can do that. If you're or if you practice another different religion, or it's never going to force itself upon you, right? So there's no pressure to go to mass or anything like that. No mandatory mass requirements. All students are required to take 3 religion courses, but there are over 150 different options. So you can take, I know, Bad Girls of the Bible is a really popular class, Theology of Marriage, Zen Buddhism and Meditation. So you can see that those kind of cover a wide variety of different religious topics. The way that I really feel the Jesuits manifest themselves the most on our core curricula, study abroad, and global engagement opportunities. At Santa Clara, you're going to be taking classes outside of your major in all different types of courses. You're going to be taking an ethics course, civic engagement, diversity. There's one course that's called an experiential learning for social justice course, and you actually go out into the Santa Clara community and work with a school or an organization. And all of those different requirements have so many cool classes that you can take to fulfill them. And then that second part philosophy is really about getting that global engagement experience. A really big focus of the Jesuits is becoming a global citizen. I like to offer lots of different opportunities for study abroad, immersion programs, and different internships abroad as well for our students. And then just to talk about Santa Clara's size really quickly, we're about 5,500 undergraduate students. It's a medium-sized school. To 1 student to faculty ratio, average class size is 23. I always say that Hannah Montana would agree that it's the best of both worlds, right? Here all week, because you're really going to get the awesome opportunities of going to a big school. There's going to be lots of research. You're really going to have spread your wings and explore lots of different things, but it's small enough that you have a really strong support system for when you do want to explore those new things, and without falling too far. Right. Now, I'm quickly going to talk about our application process in a minute. I'm going to not go too in depth into it, but at Santa Clara, the one thing I want to highlight is that you do have to apply to one of the 3 schools. So either the College of Arts and Sciences, the School of Business, or the School of Engineering. Computer engineering is our one impacted major on campus, and we really like to see calculus on the transcripts for engineering students and business students. I would encourage you to come to one of our virtual information sessions where we really delve into what the application requirements look like. But this is just some numbers to give you an idea of an average. The one thing I do want to highlight before I move on to the next slide with contact information, test optional this year as well. And when we say test optional, we truly mean test optional. It's really up to you. You're at no advantage or disadvantage by submitting those test scores. Find us at scu.edu/findyour. I know I am at time, so I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, but please feel free to ask me any questions in the chat. I'm happy to answer them.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Santa Clara University, go ahead and put it in the Q&A. Just a reminder, please make sure to put the institution's name within the question so we all know who the question goes to. All right, next up we have Chapman University.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. My name is Juliet Olson. I'm an admission counselor tuning in from Chapman University, and I'm excited to talk to you for 6 minutes about all things Chapman. So let's get into it. If my slide will turn, there we go. So here you can see a picture of our campus. This is really the heart of our campus called the Ucla Piazza. There's always fun things going on, whether it's events, different clubs and organizations, tabling, or you're just hanging out with your friends. It really is kind of like the center place of our campus overall. You can see our campus has a very young and modern feel to it. A lot of students love the architecture at Chapman University. So here you can see it in a picture. We are located in Southern California, Orange County specifically. Fun fact, Orange County is the 6th largest county in the entire United States. It spans 46 miles of coastline, and it's really conveniently located or positioned for a wide variety of reasons. For one, you can think lightheartedly and consider all of the fun entertainment options we have living in Southern California. It's perfect climate year round, so you really get to kind of live in that paradise sense, but also there are a wealth of opportunities when it comes to pre-professional sense. In Orange County alone, there are over 85,000 different companies and organizations. So regardless what field you're in, there's ample opportunity for you to get those hands-on experiences simultaneously while you're getting your undergraduate degree. And that's really important to us at Chapman. I'll dive into that a little bit deeper in a few slides, but right in the center of Southern California, Orange County is a really great place to live for a 4 to 6 year chapter of your life or for long term, and you can start building your network early on. Here we can kind of paint a picture of Chapman University, who we are, and our student body as a whole. We are actually the 3rd largest private institution in California. So we can see on this slide, our undergraduate student population sits just around 7,600. But when you incorporate our graduate student population, we go up to just over 10,000. So similar to what Maura was saying, it really is the best of both worlds. It's large enough where you're getting that all-encompassing college experience. But as an institution, we've really been able to preserve that small college, that private educational experience that our students are often seeking, and coming from the high schools that you likely are tuning in, it's likely the academic environment that you're used to. You can see our average class size is 24 students. Our student faculty ratio is 13:1. So you're really able to rely and kind of relish in that individualized and personalized educational experience, but that kind of overflows into your experience outside of the institution as well. Whatever you're doing and spending your time outside of class, lab, whatever that may be, you're really able to kind of mold that experience to be perfectly designed for you. We also have students coming from 48 different states, 2 territories, and 83 different countries. So by joining the Chapman family, you're automatically plunged into a community full of students, staff, and faculty coming from all different walks of life. And that really adds to the Chapman experience overall. Chapman University kind of falls under two different classifications, liberal arts and pre-professional. What liberal arts means is that we want to empower and equip our students to having a well-rounded education through academic exploration. So whether you know exactly what you want to study when you get to Chapman, that's great. You can hit the ground running and start taking your major related courses right away. But we also have a really vast and flexible general education system that allows you to dabble in a bunch of different areas. And through this, a lot of our students find that they want to double major or major and minor, double minor. So you're really able to get the most out of your experience. Like I mentioned earlier, we really do focus on that pre-professional essence. We think it's a really integral aspect of our students and our alumni success post-grad. Not only is our location set our students up for success in that sense, but we have a wealth of resources on our campus to really help our students navigate and kind of conquer that process. You can see on this slide here that over 96% of our students have some type of experiential learning throughout their time at Chapman. So really those opportunities are abundant. You can build your network, build your resume, and really hit the ground running once you finish your undergraduate degree. We're also an R2 classified institution that places us in the top 10% of research institutions across the entire country. And that's not only in STEM majors, but throughout the whole entire institution. And you can get started in research as early as your first year. So that's another really integral part to our Chapman success overall. If you were to ask, current students or alumni, what's your favorite thing about Chapman, or really what sold you on Chapman University, you would often hear people say this community. Community at Chapman is a very large thing, and there's a lot of different ways where you can get involved, find your friends, find your niche, and find your home away from home, and really just get the most out of your college experience overall. We have 21 different sports, over 200 different clubs and organizations, including Greek life, so there's lots that you can pick and choose from to really kind of tailor your involvement and your social experience accordingly. I want to use the last couple minutes I have to talk a little bit about our application and admission process. But again, we have an information session where you can learn all about these details, and I'll post a link in the chat once I'm done. But we have 2 application deadlines, November 1 and January 15th. November 1 houses our early action, early decision applicants, and January 15th houses our regular decision applicants. We utilize the Common App. We are test optional, just like Maura said, and we also have a wealth of financial aid opportunities. So over 86% of our students benefit from financial aid, and there's a lot of options to help drive our cost of tuition down. Here's my contact info. We don't have to waste time on this slide. I'll put it in the chat for you, and I'm excited to answer all of your questions. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for Chapman University, go ahead and please put it in the Q&A. And next up, we have University of San Diego.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jackie Burkett. I'm a senior admission counselor. I'm also a very proud alumna of the class of 2011. I majored in Spanish with a minor in biology, so I can certainly tell you all about that, but we're going to talk about USD. So we are a private Catholic university. We were founded in 1949 by the Diocese of San Diego and the Sisters of the Sacred Heart. One of our founders, Mother Rosalie Hill, she had this idea that if she built a beautiful campus, it would draw people here. On campus, our students would find truth, within truth, find goodness, and be able to spread that goodness around the world. So beauty, truth, and goodness is really what USD is all about, and it still runs with us today as we are the #6 most beautiful campus in the nation, thanks to the Princeton Review. But let me tell you a little bit about our campus community and where our students come from. So we have about 5,900 undergraduates, about 2,600 grad and law students. So we are considered a mid-sized university. 48% of our students come from out of state, about 10% are international. We have over 60 different countries represented on our campus, almost all 50 states. 38% of our students identify as being students of color, and only about 40% of our students identify as Catholic. So we have students coming from all across the globe, all different walks of life, and that is something that we celebrate on our campus. We have our Center for Inclusion and Diversity. We also have our Commons, which houses our LGBTQ and Allies Commons, our Black Student Resource Commons, our Women's Commons, and our United Front Multicultural Commons, which has 33 different multicultural clubs and organizations. So there's lots of ways to grow within your own culture about USD and learn about others while you're here. We want to expose our students to so many different opportunities, whether that come in the form of food, dance, theater, art, speakers. When I was at USD as a student, the Dalai Lama came onto the campus to speak to us, which was an incredible experience to say the least. But of course, the whole purpose of going off to college is to receive an education, and we believe in the liberal arts at USD. So you're not just going to be studying courses within your major, but courses within everything else as well, from fine arts, math, science, history, philosophy. Now, we do require 2 semesters of theology as a part of our core curriculum, but that could be in whatever faith tradition you'd like to explore. We offer Buddhism, Hindu, Judaism, even some interesting courses like Jesus in Hollywood and pop culture, or the LGBTQ plus community and Christianity. So there's lots of fun ways to get those theology requirements out of the way. We do have a wonderful School of Business. Definitely has a great reputation, houses some popular majors like finance and accounting. We have a School of Engineering, which is only about 8 years old and already 13th in the nation for undergraduate engineering programs. And of course, being a liberal arts university, we have our College of Arts and Sciences. The best part about USD is you don't apply to a specific major or specific program. Everyone just applies to USD in general. Once you're in, and you can study whatever you want to study. So think of all of our majors and minors as a big buffet, and you get to go through and pick and choose what you want to put on your plate. And my favorite experience at USD was the small class sizes. Our average class size is only 22, and we actually cap our classes at 40. So you're never going to have more than 40 students in any of your classes, even at that basic English 121 level. All of our courses are taught by professors. They all have office hours outside of their classroom hours, so they're very easily accessible to our students, and they want to get to know their students and see them be successful. But our students are not only involved inside the classroom, but outside the classroom. We make it pretty easy to get involved as we have over 180 different clubs and organizations. We have everything from our accounting society to our skydiving club. We do have 9 sororities, 9 fraternities, but we do not have traditional housing on or off campus. We're also home to 17 NCAA Division I sports. We play in the West Coast Conference, except for football. We're 1AA, we play in the Pioneer League. So we definitely have a lot of Torero pride on our campus. But also we live in San Diego. It sounds weird to say that we're the 8th largest city in the US because I don't feel like we have that big city feel. And where we're located, we're about 15 minutes north of downtown, 15 minutes south of La Jolla, 10 minutes away from the beaches. So our students really enjoy getting off campus and taking full advantage of America's finest city. Now, things that kind of make USD unique is that we are one of only 45 changemaker campuses in the world, designated because of what we do outside the classroom. This all goes back to our Catholic roots of wanting to be of service to others. So our Torero community is committed to social justice, social innovation, entrepreneurship, sustainability, and global citizenship as well. So we're consistently ranked top 10 in the nation for our study abroad participation. We have over 80 different programs, 30 different countries, 6 different continents. So you name it, we go there. We also have our own USD Center in Madrid. That's our one and only campus outside of our main campus. We also have 5 double degree programs with 5 universities over in Europe for those of you who are interested in business. Right now, those programs are limited to business, but definitely lots of opportunities to study abroad, possibly more than once, and still graduate in 4 years. Well, hopefully that inspires you to want to get to know a little bit more about USD. So please reach out to me, put some questions in the chat. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for University of San Diego, please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have University of California, Irvine.
Hi, everyone. My name is Andrea. I am an out-of-state recruiter for UCI. I'm based in Pennsylvania, but I did live some good times in California as well in the sunny weather. So I, too, am in Orange County with UC Irvine. So you've heard a little bit about Orange County already tonight. It's 75 and sunny year-round. UCI is located about 10 minutes from the beach, 20 minutes to Disneyland, and in one of the safest cities in the U.S., along with some great business opportunities. We are part of the University of California system. So my colleague Brett will be talking to you about UCLA in a little bit, but just to know that all the UCs are top ranked when you look at academics. UCI is number 8 for public schools in the entire country. So we're really proud of that because we're a really young school to be part of that. We're only 55 years young, but we've already reached this level of regard. So that's really great. And I'm proud to represent that. One of the great things about being at UCI is something that's unique about us. So when I talk to students, I often hear, well, how does UCI differ from all the other California schools or all the other UC schools? Well, one thing that's really great about us is that we're built in a perfect 1-mile circle to all of your academic buildings. So you can see that represented here on this image on your screen. It's a perfect 1-mile circle to all of the academic buildings on campus, along with our freshman housing. Upperclassmen housing is just outside the circle, along with some other great opportunities as well. But the rationale behind this circle is really to say that everything in our world is connected. So UCI has been studying academics from this very interconnected place since we started 55 years ago. So that means that on our campus, you'll find research centers that bring together computer science and biomedical engineering and the humanities. You'll find faculty that teach in both our criminology school and our nursing school. You'll find grants that bring together our art school and our medical school. So you'll find all this intersection all the time at UCI because it was really part of our philosophy when we started. The other really great thing about being on a campus built in a circle is it's easy to get around. So it only takes about 20 minutes to walk from one side of that circle through that park all the way to the other side of the circle. The park in the middle has over 11,000 trees. It looks a lot like what you see behind me here. It's very green, very beautiful. And during COVID, we've even been able to extend all of our learning spaces and our eating spaces into the park and into other outdoor areas on our campus because of the weather. So I share that with all my colleagues here tonight, I'm sure. The other kind of fun thing to point out on the map here is that our freshman housing, we have over 80% of our freshmen live in on-campus housing. Our half the students live in Middle-earth student housing, which is over on the left-hand side of your screen. These are named after Lord of the Rings characters, so it's a really fun nod to that fandom. And then at the bottom of your screen, you see 2 little blue circles. That is Moisa Court. That's the other half of our freshmen live there. We're a large school, as you can see by those numbers, and we do some of the top level of research. So we're a tier 1 research institution, but we have a relatively small graduate student population. So when you're on campus, it doesn't feel as large as those numbers might seem. So people are pretty friendly and pretty collaborative on our campus as well. For academics, we offer a lot. We also have about a third of our students come in as undeclared. We give you plenty of time to explore whether you start in one of these majors or outside of it and still graduate in a really timely way. We have a great 4-year graduation rate, which is about 69%. And if you go to just 4 years in accord, it's almost 80%. So it's much higher than the national averages. What do students come from across the US and from the Missouri, St. Louis area specifically for their education at UCI? Well, typically you're going to be coming across the country to a UC for something in the STEM fields. We're best regarded at UCI in our pre-med, pre-health kind of area. We have 10 different bio majors, a school of nursing, a school of pharmacy, a school of public health, a school of medicine. We have tons of undergraduate research. So especially if that's a career direction for you, we're a great fit for that. We have our own hospital. We also partner with 3 other nearby hospitals. The other area that we're really well regarded kind of across the board would be computer science and engineering. We're one of the only UCs, or the only UC with a full school of computer science. So we have a bunch of degrees in engineering and in computer science. All of these will include a senior design project your senior year where you'll get to work in a business in the local community. And this is a great way to build your resume. We're also one of only 3 undergraduate business schools in the UC system. So our business school is ranked number 32 for undergraduate business programs. We also have a top 10 dance major, a top 5 criminology major in the country, some other really great programs as well. Almost all of the programs you saw on the last screen are going to incorporate some sort of hands-on education. So we're going to teach you how to critically think, but we also want you to be able to start UCI and do really well and build that resume so you can get that great job when you graduate. In the city of Irvine, when you drive around, it's designed to look very suburban, but we still have 1/3 of all Fortune 500 companies right in Irvine. So lots right in our backyard, including the companies you see here. One of our tour guides, she's a senior this year, but as a sophomore, she was able to get an internship at Google. And she wasn't even a business major. So we do have students that take advantage of this great relationship that we have with the Irvine area and with these great businesses in our area. I already mentioned undergraduate research. It's something that we prioritize and definitely value at UCI. It's something available to all students, not just STEM majors. Study abroad, I put some of my comments in the chat, but we have a great study abroad program as well. We're the Anteaters, which is really fun. And the UC application is due November 30th. So don't forget that. I'll drop this link in the chat and have a great night.
Awesome, thank you so much. If you have any questions for the University of California, Irvine, please put it in the Q&A. Once again, just a reminder, make sure you're putting the institution's name within your question so we all know who the question goes to. Next up, we have Occidental College.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And hopefully you've had a really wonderful college fair these last few hours. My name's Robin. I use the she, her pronouns. I also am a graduate of Occidental College. I graduated in the class of 2008. So I'm excited to share a little bit more about our campus with you all. This is actually a view from the top of campus. We are a campus that is very much built onto a hill, and we are looking out on the rest of the city. So you'll see some solar panels there on top of one of our parking lots. All right, so to get started, I always like to orient folks where Occidental is. As we've heard from our colleagues, we've gotten some kind of big maps of California that point out where they are, and I like to hone in a little bit more. We are in the city of Los Angeles. We are the only liberal arts college in the city of LA, and we are in Northeast Los Angeles. So you'll see everything here in the foreground in the orange shading is our campus. We're only about 2,000 students, but about 120 acres. So everything and anything you're going to need for your college experience, similar to my colleagues, is right there on campus. So even being quote unquote an urban campus, we have a really traditional campus feel. You're not going to be walking out of your residence hall or classrooms onto a city street. You're going to have a space that you can really wrap your arms around, that is going to feel like home, that's going to have a really intimate setting that in contrast will then be surrounded by the city of LA, as you can see in this photo. We're just north of downtown. We are nestled in again in Northeast Los Angeles between Eagle Rock and Highland Park. Those are kind of the 2 neighborhoods that we inhabit. And they're also the neighborhoods that I would say our students spend the most time in. When we think about our campus, while we do have this campus that's highlighted, an extension of that really are our neighborhoods and is our location in Los Angeles. And that is what I think makes Oxy unique when we talk about other liberal arts colleges. Being able to have such an intimate scale on campus, but to be in such a culturally diverse and such a dynamic city as Los Angeles really does change sort of the flavor and the perspective of your education. Eagle Rock and Highland Park are really wonderful neighborhoods. They're really walkable. There are restaurants and art galleries and movie theaters and bowling alleys. There are CVS's and Starbucks and grocery stores. There is so many different food options, which is probably the favorite thing of our students to talk about. It's all within walking distance of campus. And so whether it's just picking up coffee or going to a show, a live music event, all of that is within walking distance off campus. We also have ways for students to kind of go farther aflung from Oxy, whether it's to utilize our Bengal bus program, which is a sort of on-campus Uber Lyft service, our bike share program, or to hop on the metro. So we're about 1.5 miles from the metro. We're 3 stops from Union Station, which is the primary station in downtown LA that will help you explore downtown LA, but also connect you to trains that will get you all across the city, including to Santa Monica and to the beach. So it's a little bit about our neighborhood and our location. And you're going to hear me talk a lot about Los Angeles because it is something that we hope is really inextricable from your experience and really enhances your academic, your social, your cultural, and your pre-professional opportunities. Oxy by the numbers, we are a small liberal arts college, so we're about 2,000 students. The average class size is pretty small, 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Almost all of our classes are smaller than 30 students, and there are no classes that go up to 50. So we, again, are going to give you that classroom environment where you're going to get to know your faculty members, you're going to get to know your peers really well, and you're going to get to have faculty that know your interests, your strength, your passions. They're going to be the folks that reach out to you to help them on research projects. Or that offer your name for an internship or a job opportunity. And so we really value relationships and community at Oxy. And our size is something that affords us the opportunity to kind of build those deep relationships. It also goes for staff and it goes for students among themselves as well. We are a residential college, so all of our students live on campus. Traditionally, our students have lived on campus all 4 years. We guarantee housing all 4 years and encourage our students to stay with us. Students that are living off campus as upperclassmen are usually living, right in those neighborhoods that you saw on the map around campus. So you're still walking to games, walking to practices, walking to class, and to the dining hall. So still very much a part of the Oxy community. A little bit about our first year class this last year to kind of get an idea of who Oxy students are and where they come from. About 40% of them are in-state students, about 60% of them are out of state. I have the wonderful opportunity to travel to St. Louis and to Missouri broadly every year and recruit students. So each year we have a wonderful group of students from your area and from the schools represented tonight. But you won't be alone in being the only student coming from outside of California. A little over half of our students identify themselves as white students, and about 46% of them identify themselves as domestic students of color. Usually about half of that are Asian Pacific Islander students, sort of identifying broadly, with about 12 to 15% Latinx students and around 8% Black African American students. We also have students that come from all over the globe. It's not just racial diversity, but it is in terms of ethnicity and nationality, it's socioeconomic diversity, it's gender identity, it's sexual orientation, it's languages spoken. We really put an emphasis on bringing students that are the first in their family to come to college and providing support for those students. So we very much focus on the idea that we want to have a diverse community on campus. And we also want students to be able to come as their full selves to campus. We want them to be able to really feel supported and celebrated in all of the identities that they bring to Occidental. In terms of academic areas, here are all of our different majors. So we have about 34 different programs on campus. Anything marked with an asterisk means that it is minor only, but all of our majors are available as minors as well. Some of our largest departments are things like biology, diplomacy and world affairs, economics, psych, sociology. Some programs that are unique to Oxy include things like urban and environmental policy, critical theory and social justice, and the diplomacy and world affairs program. So I will put it in the chat a little bit more information about where you can find information sessions, my contact information, etc. And happy to answer questions in the chat as well.
Awesome, thank you so much. If you have any questions for Occidental College, please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have UCLA.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Brett Stevenson. I'm an admission officer from UCLA. Give me a minute here just to go ahead and make sure my screen is all set up. But I wanted to welcome you all today to your future, we like to say. UCLA, if you haven't heard of it before, the University of California, Los Angeles. We are, of course, located in Los Angeles, California, so about an hour north of UCI, of Chapman, like you heard from before, and not too far away from Oxy as well, of course. We are actually part of the UC system. We're actually the largest university in the University of California system in terms of student size, but actually the smallest in terms of campus size. So within that, we do fit quite a lot of big opportunities and some incredible diversity, both academically and in a few other ways, which I'll talk about in a bit. But I just want to sort of introduce you. Underneath UCLA, we do have 8 colleges that you can apply into. Of course, the largest and the one that the vast majority of you are going to be applying into is the College of Letters and Sciences, which you can see there in the lower right. That's where about, again, 95% of you are going to be applying everything from your typical majors like physics and political science, all the way to some really niche offerings like neuroscience, international development, some new offerings that we come up with every year. And actually two of these 8 colleges have just been created in the last 2 years. So we're constantly innovating. We're constantly trying to add and cater to some more opportunities for our incoming students. Now, you'll remember I mentioned diversity. That is not just academic diversity, but also across all of our offerings as a campus community. We really are looking for students from a diverse set of backgrounds with diverse ideas, diverse identities to come in and really share their interests, share their passions, and get highly involved. That's a huge part of being a Bruin. And you can see that because we actually have over 1,000 clubs and organizations on campus. So you'll remember I mentioned we're quite a large university. We do have around 35,000 students from, again, all over the world. We are a major public research university, and students from St. Louis, like yourselves, students from all kinds of different countries, all parts of the United States are realizing that, and they're coming to join us, and they're bringing their passions, they're bringing them their involvements with them, certainly. In terms of our campus life, we are located in Westwood, which is a neighborhood of Los Angeles that's a little bit unique. The reason I like to mention that when we're talking about living on campus is because you're not spending all of your time as a UCLA student actually on campus or in Westwood. You're really able to explore the entire area of Los Angeles and really all of Southern California. So it's a really special way to interact with your fellow campus community, but also the community outside of UCLA. You're going to eat well. We actually have the #1 ranked college food in America, but you're also going to have access to incredible academic opportunities, but also jobs and internships and all kinds of different career opportunities in a number of different industries. You'll remember I showed you we have 8 different colleges, and the reason is the reason we have 8 different colleges at UCLA is because we don't really have one specific academic specialty. Whether you want to go into the entertainment industry, business, law, continue on in research, maybe work with NASA JPL and the Caltech campus not too far away, you're going to have access to a number of different avenues and different routes that UCLA students are constantly pursuing and join our incredible alumni network all over the city. Now, Westwood in particular, the reason I want to talk a lot about this a little bit more is because some of you maybe aren't as familiar with our campus. It really has that college town feel. So of course you have access to a major global city in Los Angeles, but you also have access to that small town, typical sort of college experience that you might get at some other universities that you've seen tonight, maybe that you've seen elsewhere. It's a great place to spend 3 to 4 years, about 15 minutes from the ocean in Santa Monica, about 20-25 minutes from downtown Los Angeles. So again, whether you're looking for recreation, career opportunities, maybe you want to go into the tech industry at Silicon Beach, about 20 miles away, and work for Snapchat, Google, Oracle. All these companies have offices or some of their headquarters close to our campus as well. You really have access to some fantastic opportunities for your career. In terms of actually the application process and what we're looking for, I want to cut to the chase. I'm sure you're all looking for this. Of course, we do have a holistic or a comprehensive review when you're applying to UCLA. These are a few of the specific aspects that we are looking for. We're not just evaluating you on your grades, your academics, but also what you spent your time doing outside the classroom. You can see that again here. We're really looking for students that are leaders in their communities, that are engaged not only on their own high school campus, but also with their involvements, with their passions. We want to see students that are going to bring those diverse perspectives, those great backgrounds to Westwood with them and share them with their fellow students. So it's very, very important. Now, this goes for both myself and UCI, so I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that. But as part of the UC system, we are currently test blind or test free, whichever terminology you prefer to use, for all applicants. So we will not be accepting the ACT or the SAT in our admission. And to further sort of give you some more information that I'm sure we will get questions about, we are both part of the UC application. So if you're applying to any of the 9 undergraduate campuses in the UC system, including of course UCI, UCLA, Berkeley, wherever it is you might be applying, you just have to fill out that information once and you can send it to as many different campuses as you'd like. But we don't do early decision or any early admission. So everybody applies at that same time without their SATs, without their ACTs, and we go from there with our holistic review process. I will go ahead and refer you also to this link right here, ucla.edu/visit. I can give you a little bit of information about UCLA in 6 minutes, but by far the best place to do that is by learning from some of our students, taking a virtual tour, seeing an admission info session online. If you have any specific questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Definitely check out that link tree right there. You can see our social media, some great information in our publication library, etc. I'll stop taking up the time and yield it back to Sibel.
Awesome, thank you so much. If you have any questions for UCLA, please put it in the Q&A at this time. But also we are nearing the end of our session, so please make sure to grab that contact information from UCLA or our other schools and colleges so that you can be sure to follow up with them. Now, I would love our panelists and presenters if you all could join me via video. That would be awesome. Let me just pull my screen up here. Nice to see your beautiful faces. All right. So my panelists and presenters, you did a great job. I know it's a small amount of time to share just a little tidbit of your institutions. I'm sure you have so much more to say about your amazing schools, but thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. My attendees, thank you so much for being here as well. I know I learned a thing or two, so I hope you did from these amazing institutions and you again grabbed information from them to follow up and do a deeper dive. Before you leave, after you close this window, a very quick 4-question survey will appear. The words "very quick" are literally on your screen, so we're not lying to you. It should take you a few seconds to just give us some awesome feedback. We really appreciate it. Also, disregard more sessions. We do not have any more sessions to offer you for this particular college fair this evening. But if you'd like to relive the fun, again, a recording will be available at strivescan.com/St. Louis for school. With that said, you all, thank you again so much for joining, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, everybody.